Hi friends, I'm Amy and this is A Star Reads and it's time for the 12 Days of Christmas Carol Advent Calendar Challenge. This is my TBR video. The challenge TBR video. I'm very excited because this is the way that I have been picking my December TBR for the last, well, this is the third year. The reason why I call this the 12 Days of Christmas Carol Advent Calendar Challenge is because I use a Christmas carol to determine what books I'm going to pick to put into this. And so the first year was the 12 Days of Christmas song, and the second year was the Christmas song, which is like chestnuts roasting, that song. Then this year, I'm gonna be doing Deck the Halls with Boughs of Holly, which is a fun song, and I figured this is a year I need to pep up a little bit, and we need a fun song. If you haven't seen this challenge, if you wanna know what the heck I'm talking about and you'd like to follow up by looking at my previous videos, I will link a playlist up here, and in that playlist, I actually have a video as well that shows how I created my little advent calendar using a Reader's Digest book, which it was a fun little project for me, and I love the way this has turned out. And so if you want to know more about that, it's all up there in the playlist. So the way this challenge actually works is that today in this video, you will see me pick the very first day of Christmas. So I will pick the first book or activity, and then I will have to do that. And I'm only gonna be picking one in this video because that's kind of how I format the whole month. I pick one, I read it, or in this case, do it, and then I will pick the next one. And I daily vlog for this, so I don't put out individual vlogs, but I put out all the vlogs it requires for the first day of Christmas or the second day of Christmas. And at the end of that vlog, I will pick the next book. It's gonna be a little different this year because I have the possibility of activities and I'm not gonna have the activity be its own vlog. So if I pick an activity prompt, I have to actually do the activity, but in the same vlog, I'll pick the next prompt after I finish that activity because I wasn't sure if I wanted the whole vlog, especially because it's a bookish channel, to be centered just around an activity. So anyways, you'll see that as we go along. It'll be fine, it'll be fine. So this year I have 3 categories that are a possibility for each line of the song. So Deck the Halls with Boughs of Holly, I will have 3 possibilities for that sentence of the song. And there are certain categories. So the very first category is the fa-la-la-la books. That's a hard word to say, fa-la-la-la-la books. And these are not necessarily just Christmas, but they're all holiday centered, and most of them are cozy romances, you know, but some of them are like classics and whatnot. The second category is what I'm calling my finish the year out right and get those books off your shelf category. I mean, something like that. It's like that. And that's all books off my physical TBR. So using the prompt of that sentence of the song, I'll have to find a book off my shelves that works well for that sentence. And then finally, and this is the big change, I'm adding a category of prompts that are my put the book down and get out and enjoy the holiday prompts. And these are activity prompts and they're all holiday based. They're not bookish. I don't think any of them are bookish. And they're just meant for me to get out there and enjoy the holidays a little bit more, because as much as I love this challenge, with 12 books to read in December, I don't get much else accomplished. And sometimes I need a little bit of a push to get out there and to do all the festive things that I want to do, because once I'm done with school in December, I'm usually pretty worn out. And it's easy to stay home and just read books, but then I kind of feel like I've missed out on some of that holiday fun that I love and I want to do every year, and then I just run out of energy. So this is gonna push me to do it because I'm gonna have prompts in here, hopefully, unless we unless we didn't shuffle them well. I'm gonna have prompts in here that are gonna make me do different activities that are festive. So that all might seem a little confusing, but I think as I start telling you about the options for each sentence of the song, it'll all become a lot more clear. So let's get started and find out what our options are for this year. Okay, so to help me sing this song, I have brought my favorite Christmas carol partner, Mama. So we'll basically be going through each days of the Deck the Halls song. It's a Welsh melody from the 16th century.
The first English lyrics were written in 1862 by a Scottish musician. His name was Thomas Oliphant.
That was back when people would actually go caroling because they wanted to get drinks. Everybody had to let you into their house, and they had to feed you, and they had to give you lots of drinks and stuff like that. They had to take care of you. They had to entertain you. So basically, this was a time when a lot of the workers would go to their boss's house, and they were the ones in charge on this day. And it was very rowdy, it was very crazy, and that's kind of where caroling started.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I would go caroling if I could get booze.
That's the point. It was to be as crazy and loud and wild as you possibly can.
I can do that.
Right. I guess you could be. So we're actually going to be using a version from 1877 from the Pennsylvania School Journal, because it's closer to what we would actually sing. So the lyrics might be a little different than what you're used to, but this is the 1877.
This isn't the boozy version.
No.
Darn it.
I mean, that would have been fun, and it is a fun version, but I figured this is closer to what we actually
I don't
sing.
think I've ever heard the boozy version. This is closer to what we sing now.
A lot less alcohol, and then it also gives me more variety to find books.
Yes. She
the other
needed
one
to
I'm
be able
like,
to find books.
How many alcohol books do I have?
None. Maybe. I don't know.
So, are you ready?
I'm ready.
For day one, we're gonna start our Deck the Halls. Are you ready?
Yep.
Deck the halls with boughs of holly, fa la 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 la. So as you heard, for the first day of Christmas, we've got deck the halls with boughs of holly. I'm thinking of decorating, I'm thinking of making things look pretty, I'm thinking of things that may be already pretty. And so for my fa la 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 song, I've got Window Shopping by Tessa Bailey. And this is basically this woman who, I think she got out of jail, and she gets a job as a window dresser during Christmas time. And I figured this is perfect because she's dressing these windows, she's decking the halls. So my activity for put the book down and get out and be festive is to create a holiday wreath using natural materials. We live in the woods-ish, and so we have a lot of natural materials around. So I thought it'd be fun to use what we have to create a holiday wreath. And that's also going to be a way that I get to deck the halls of my own house. So I thought that would be a fun one. And so then my choice for my physical TBR that has to do with decking the halls or something that is beautiful or decorating yourself in this instance is the selection by Kiera Cass. Now, I picked this up a while ago from like Value Village, and it was cheap. I was like, I've heard about this series. I know that it's YA. It's probably very YA. And it's a dystopian book series. But I figured these are all women who are in a competition. They're in some kind of competition where they have to, I don't know what they have to do, because I really don't know much about this book. But I mean, deck the halls, they're decking themselves. I figured this was a good option, and it was something that I could pull off my shelf. A book that I may not ever get to otherwise. And so I figured, let's just throw it on here because I also think it'll be an easy read. It's not very long, and I am kind of looking forward to trying this out. I'm really unsure of it, but you know, we're gonna give it a go. Hey, so before we go into the sorting process, I just wanted to let you know that I failed to mention to Mom that it's important to show the advent calendar when she's putting the prompt in after she's made her choice. You'll see she'll pick from a bowl one of the 3 options for that day of Christmas. So for the first 4 days, she doesn't show the actual advent calendar when she's putting it in, but I guarantee you she's putting it in the correct day. There's only one prompt going into each of those, and it's randomly picked from that bowl. So just wanted to give you an update. On the 5th day, you'll start seeing the advent calendar as she's putting it in. Here's our sheet. And
Happy holidays.
okay, so we're gonna start with the first day of Christmas.
My true love gave to me. Not that song.
So we're doing Deck the Halls, and this is our first line of the 3 options for Deck the Halls. So we have our fa la 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 books all here, our put the books down and get outside prompts right here. And then on this side, we have the let's get through those books before the end of the year.
Tis the season to be jolly, fa la 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 la.
Okay, so for day 2, we've got Tis the Season to be Jolly. And for my fa la 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 book, I went with A Holly Jolly Diwali. This is by Sonya Lalli, which that's wonderful that it rhymes. Got Holly Jolly in the title, and so I figured this is perfect for something that will be jolly. And this is another comfy romance, and I just figured this is gonna be a lot of fun. So for my activity, I'm gonna have kind of 2 options, or I can do both of them, which is either make a holiday cocktail or go out and enjoy a holiday cocktail. So there's a couple places around here that are doing specialized holiday cocktails this year, and I do like to go out and try what they're putting together. But I also thought it'd be kind of fun to make my own holiday cocktail. So I may do both, and I'm okay with that. And then for the physical book off my shelf, I picked Well Met by Jen Deluca. Now, 'tis the season to be jolly. This book is going to make me jolly. I already know it. It's one of my 5-star prediction books. I need to get it on my TBR at some point. And it's based around the Renaissance Fair, which is one of my favorite memories growing up, I always feel very jolly when I'm at the Renaissance Fair. It's themed, it's wonderful, it's so much fun. It's almost as fun as Christmas time. So I'm excited about Well Met, and I can't wait to see if I enjoy this, if I actually give it 5 stars.
Don we now our gay apparel, fa la 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 la.
Day 3, we've got Don we now our gay apparel. And so I chose the holiday swap because this is about 2 sisters who switch places, who pretend to be the other. And I thought that that was kind of fun because they're donning a new persona. They're donning their sister's persona, and maybe even their clothes. I don't know if that's true, but like, it's still, they're taking on something new. They're applying it to themselves. They're not themselves. And so I thought that worked for that concept. For my activity, I'm going to be donning some gay apparel by purchasing and wearing a Christmassy outfit or top or something. Some kind of Christmassy clothing that I can wear to enjoy the holidays with. And then finally, for my physical book off my TBR, I'm choosing Emma by Jane Austen. And this is because Emma really tries hard to set people up in relationships. And there's one particular character who she's trying to create into a class that she's not already in. And she's trying to make this girl be higher in station than she actually is. She's trying to put this persona onto this girl that isn't really recognized within society. And I thought that that was kind of an interesting way to look at this Don we now our gay apparel. And also, there's a lot of posturing that goes in with Jane Austen books, and Emma especially. This is a book that I've been trying to read for a while, and it's my least favorite at this point. I haven't been able to get through it yet, but I'm hoping that since I have had a while since I read another Jane Austen book, I'll be ready to read this in December, and I'll be able to put my energy towards it, because I think I'm going to enjoy it ultimately. It may not be my favorite Jane Austen, because Emma drives me nuts. She really drives me nuts. But I am excited to finish reading all of the main Jane Austen books.
The ancient Yuletide carol, fa la 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 la.
So for the 4th day of Christmas, we've got Troll the Ancient Christmas Carol. And I usually sing it Troll the Ancient Yuletide Carol, but in the 1877 version, it was Christmas Carol. And yet editing Amy is here to say that apparently we were very stuck in our ways because we actually did sing it with Yuletide Carol. We didn't sing the version we were supposed to. So it should have been Troll the Ancient Christmas Carol. So for my Fa La 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 book, I picked Mr. Dickens and His Carol by Samantha Silva. Obviously, this is about Mr. Dickens and his carol. And this does have a Christmas Carol type story. It's just a reimagining or a retelling. So I really would like to read this one because Mom gave it to me for Christmas last year, and hopefully it'll come up in my advent calendar this year. Then for my activity, I'm actually going to find and try a new Christmas tradition. I really like Christmas for the traditions. I am maybe not necessarily the most traditional person within my life, but for some reason when it comes to Christmas, I just love the different traditions people do and hearing about them, understanding where they came from. I think it's fascinating. So I'm going to find and start a new Christmas tradition because I think that would be a fun way to troll the ancient Christmas carol. And then for my physical book, I actually picked Anne of Green Gables by Ella Montgomery because this is a classic I've had on my shelves for a very long time. And it's a very well-loved, well-known classic, something that's been around for a very long time. And I feel like this book has been, and it's shaped a lot of people's reading lives. So I think that that works for that prompt.
See the blazing Yule before us, fa la 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 la.
Number 5, see the blazing Yule before us. So I kind of went with a little bit of a cheat for my Fa La 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 book because Mom had bought me the Yule Lads by Brian Pilkington. This is a celebration of Iceland's Christmas folklore. And it's a children's book, or at least it's a very small book. It's a picture book. And it's got these different Icelandic folklore stories in it. And I just thought this would be a lot of fun to read. A nice little easy read. So I do have a couple of books in here that are a little longer. And it's got Yule in the title. And these are Yule Lads. And I want to hear more about these Icelandic Yule Lads. So I think that works out for see the blazing Yule before us. And for the activity, if I'm going to see the blazing Yule before us, I'm going to have a cozy fire pit night. We have a wonderful fire pit out in the back. This will of course be weather dependent. If the weather is bad, then we may have to choose some other option. But it's really nice to have a little fire pit and get together. And my neighbors usually come over, we drink some wine, and we can enjoy a little bit of cold/hot because of the fire winter fun together and just spend some time together with people that I care about. And for the book off my physical TBR, I'm trying to get through before the end of the year, Little Fires Everywhere by Celeste Ng. And this is a book that I think works out well because it has fires in the title, because we're talking about see the blazing Yule before us, but it's also about a community and the way that people are interacting with each other in this community. And I think of that when I think of little cozy get-togethers, and I think about people around the fireplace and stuff. And I know this is not necessarily a positive get-together community sort of thing, but I thought it worked out well for this prompt.
Strike the harp and join the chorus. Fa la 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 la.
So day 6, strike the harp and join the chorus. Now for this one, I don't have the actual book yet, but I've got Midnight at Everwood by M.A. Kuzniar. This is a book that I started previously and I did not finish it, and I would like to finish it because I was loving what I was reading. And this is a Nutcracker retelling. And I figured this works really well with strike the harp and join the chorus because the Nutcracker has incredible music. And in the actual ballet of the Nutcracker, you get tons of ballerinas dancing together on stage in a chorus. They're working together towards the same goal of entertaining us. Then for the activity, kind of along the same lines, I picked see a holiday musical performance of some sort. Sometimes there's little options here within town, and if not, maybe we could go to Seattle or something. Find some place that has a musical performance that is holiday based. From my physical shelf, I actually picked this middle grade 12th by Janet Key. And the reason I picked this one is because it's about this girl who is going to this theater camp. So there is a bit of drama here. And she doesn't think it's for her, but because some mysterious thing happens, she has to join together with other students from the theater camp, other kids. And I think of that like strike the harp and join the chorus. So they're joining together to solve this mystery.
Follow me in merry measure. Fa la 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 la.
Day 7, follow me in merry measure. So for this one, it's all about music again. So for my fa la 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 song, I chose the classic, The Nutcracker by Alexandre Dumas. Now I know that there's other versions of this, but I found this beautiful copy recently. And so we're gonna go with this one. It even has the golden sprayed edges. Look at that, it's beautiful. And it's got illustrations in it too. And there's our young protagonist, I think. So yeah, I'm excited about this one, and hopefully I get it because I've never actually read The Nutcracker. I love the play, and I've seen the play many, many times, but I've never actually read the story. Then for my activity, I'm simply gonna learn a new Christmas song. I know a lot of Christmas songs, but I feel like there are plenty that I don't know the lyrics to perfectly well. And then there are some that I've never heard before, and especially because I read more about how caroling began, I'm fascinated to know more about the original Christmas songs that people were using at the time that are very alcohol-based. So I might try and learn one of those older Christmas carols. So then for my physical choice, I'm gonna be choosing another classic, and that is The Phantom of the Opera by Gaston Leroux. And this is about this phantom in an opera, and he falls in love with the main singer, I think, of this opera production. He is this figure, this person, or this ghost that haunts the opera. And I have never read the actual original story. And I've heard this is quite a bit different than the adaptation, the play or the movie that we've seen. And I'm curious to see how it's different. I have never had a huge draw to this particular play. I love a lot of musicals and the music is gorgeous, but this is not one of my favorites. It just hasn't ever pulled me in that much. So I'll be interested to see what I think of the actual book.
While I tell of Christmas treasure, fa la 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 la.
And then the 8th day, While I Tell of Christmas Treasure. So for this one, I thought of storytelling, but I also thought of treasure, things that we love. For my fa la 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 book, I'm going with The Christmas Bookshop by Jenny Colgan. And the reason I picked this is because, It's about storytelling. There's a lot of books and stuff in this, obviously, but it also is a bookshop, and that is treasure for people who love books. I tend to think of bookshops as little treasure troves, so I figured that worked out really well for that particular prompt. So for the activity, and this one actually is bookish. I forgot that I had one that was bookish in here. Read a Christmas story to someone out loud. So to my mom, to somebody else, my family, whoever it is, I will be reading a Christmas story to somebody out loud. And this is a lot of fun to do sometimes in the evening, just get to share a story with somebody else. And I don't know what we'll read. We listened to Christmas Carol last year, so maybe not that, but you know, we got a lot of options. And then for my physical TBR, and I have a copy of this, I lent it to someone and I haven't gone and picked it up yet. It's The Gilded Ones by Namina. This has been on many TBRs. I do need to read it at some point. I want to read it. Christmas treasure, think of treasure chests. And Gilded Ones, this is all about their blood being gold color, but like there's that concept of gilded, which is gold. I know that doesn't necessarily how this story goes, but I figured that works well for this particular prompt. And if we think about it from more of these women and their strength and the things that are important about them, we can easily pull treasure from that. Fast away the old year passes, fa la 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 la. Number 9, fast away the old year passes. So this is about time going so quickly, which I totally get this line of this song because that feels like every day to me. But for my fa la 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 book, I chose One Day in December by Josie Silver, because this is a lot like When Harry Met Sally, where these people meet like in a meet cute sort of thing, or they see each other for the first time and then they keep running into each other, but they're at different stages in their life. One's in a relationship now, the other one's married now, and they keep coming together, but the timing is never right. And so in the end, I think hopefully it's a romance, they end up together, I don't know. But that's the whole concept of this, and I really like that concept, and I figure it works well with the years passing, things going too quickly and not necessarily getting what you want when you want it. For my activity, I'm gonna do one thing that I planned on doing in 2022 that I haven't done yet, and try and get that done before the end of the year. That's gonna be kind of difficult, and I don't know yet what that's going to be, but we'll worry about it if I end up picking it at that time. We'll worry about it then. And finally, playing on the time element of years passing, of a year passing, and how quickly time can go, I chose The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue by V.E. Schwab. Now I know in this one, time probably goes pretty slow for her because she's living an immortal life in a sense, but I think this kind of goes with the theme well. And this is like a Dr. Faustus retelling, and it's about someone making a deal with the devil and the consequences, the repercussions of that, and how it affects her because she's chosen to live a life of immortality. Hail the new ye lads and lasses, fa la 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 la. And the 10th day, hail the new ye lads and lasses. So the concept of this one is like, look at the new year, here it's coming, ye lads and lasses. So everybody around you, let's gather together and celebrate the new year coming. And so for this one, I was thinking about ye lads and lasses and new love, things that are coming anew. And I picked The Christmas Sisters by Sarah Morgan because this has 3 sister characters in it. Imagine there are going to be 3 men that they fall in love with. It's a classic romance. And so ye lads and lasses, and of course they're all trying to find new love. I think that brings in the whole hail the new. You're bringing in new love into your life. For my activity, I want to make a Christmas or holiday meal for friends or family, different lads and lasses in my life that I want to feed with a holiday meal. I think it's nice because it'd be something for me to do that I absolutely love, but I really haven't had any big dinner parties since I've moved here to Washington, and it's something that I've loved doing in the past, and a lot of people have gotten a lot of enjoyment out of because we get to spend great time together, meeting new people, having fun together, and eating good food. So I haven't done that since I've moved here. I don't think I have, not an actual dinner party. And then for the book off my physical TBR that I need to get through, this one is The Marvelers by Donielle Clayton. And I picked this one because it's about this girl going to this school of magic, and she has a type of magic that nobody trusts. People are really uncertain about the type of magic she performs. And in this school, people are having to learn how to deal with her and her different type of magic. She like has to solve something, and she joins together with other lads and lasses from her school. And I think the reason it works for Hail the New is because everybody there at the school is going to have to get used to this type of magic that they're not used to having around them and makes them uncomfortable.
Sing we joyous all together, fa la 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 la.
We're getting there, we're getting there. 11th day, sing we joyous all together. So this is all about singing together. And so for this one, I picked the 12 Dates of Christmas by Jenny Bayliss. And this is one where I stretched it a little bit. Because I thought this sounded like a fun one that I wanted to read. And the reason that I picked this for Sing We Joyous All Together is because this character is having 12 dates of Christmas, so dating a whole bunch of different people. So all together, she has to date a whole bunch of different people. And hopefully she'll be joyous at the end and singing a joyous tune because she'll, I imagine, meet the person that she wants to spend the rest of her life with and fall in love with. And wonderful Christmas story. And of course, it'll make me feel joyous. So yeah, that's the way I'm twisting this one. And it works. So just, yeah, it works. Okay, I want to clarify really quickly because I definitely struggled with remembering why I picked this book for this prompt while I was filming this. And it does have to do with the fact that she's dating 12 different people within 1 month. So it's like all together, she's dating this many people in 1 month. But then also, Sing We Joyous All Together is about song, it's about music. And this title is based off the 12 Days of Christmas. It's a song that we sing during Christmas time. So that's why I picked it. And for the actual activity, it's a little more on the nose. Go to a Christmas sing-along or Christmas karaoke. Now, this might end up coming about after Christmas. In that case, maybe I will alter it a little bit, but it has something to do with singing Christmas carols or singing joyously and doing it in more of a public place altogether. And then for the book on my physical TBR now, you know that every year I at least add one nonfiction book to this TBR because I like to, throw a wrench in there. And, this is the books that I need to get through on my physical TBR. And I do have a lot of nonfiction, and I used to read a ton of nonfiction. But since I started school again, it's been rough. Nonfiction is not what I choose to read at the moment. But I do love nonfiction. And so I figured the book that worked for this prompt is Music, the Brain, and Ecstasy by Robert Jourdain. And this says how music captures our imagination. I think it's a focus on the brain, the actual brain, like neurological focus on how music affects our lives. And I felt like this worked really well. It's not too long. And I think it's different enough from the type of nonfiction I've been reading lately that I will probably enjoy this. And it did get pretty good reviews if I remember correctly. So I think that this would be a fun one to try and read in December. Maybe, I don't know, we'll see.
Heedless of the wind and weather, fa la 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 la, fa la 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 la. That's crazy.
Nice. Okay, finally, the 12th day of Christmas is heedless of the wind and weather. So this is, no matter what the wind and weather are like, we're going out caroling. And, I don't know about that, but I do know that for the Fa La 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 book, I chose How to Excavate a Heart by Jake Maya Arlo. And this is a YA sapphic romance about these two characters. One is, I think, a paleontology student, and the other, I don't know too much about this, but it's during the holiday season and they end up getting snowed in together and their love blossoms from there. I thought that worked out really well for this particular one, and it'll still be a fun little cute YA romance. So for my activity, I'm going to do an outdoor activity of some sort, regardless of the weather. So if it's snowing here, if it's raining here, oh well, I've got to do some sort of outdoor activity because I'm going to be heedless of the wind and weather. And I thought this sounded like an interesting one. I don't know what that will be unless I pick this, then we'll figure it out at that point. But it's always good to get out. It's really hard here in the winter for people to want to get out in Washington because it gets dark, it gets very rainy, and a lot of times it's nice to just stay in your cozy little home. But I'm gonna make this an opportunity for me to get out and do some outdoor activities no matter what the weather is like. Final option, the book off my physical TBR shelf. Let's see if I can get to this before the end of 2022. I'm gonna be choosing Stormfront by Jim Butcher. And this is the first book in the Dresden Files. I have this series on my shelf. I look at it, I'm interested in it. I think this will be an easy, fun read for me, and it'll be something different than everything else that I'm reading. So I think that this is kind of a good place to go for me. And Stormfront, I mean, it really did hit the prompt on the nose. I've been interested in this series for a while. I've heard a lot of great things, and so I want to see if I feel that it's great as well. So now it's time for the most exciting part of this video. I'm so excited, I can't wait. And that is picking day number 1. So if it's an activity, that will be an interesting thing because I still have school for the first week and a half of December. And that always usually makes the first week and a half a hard time to get these books finished. Let's figure out my first book for the 12 Days of Christmas Carol Advent Calendar Challenge. Deck the halls with boughs of holly. La 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 la. Oh, so ridiculous. Okay, here it is. Here it is. I'm excited and I'm nervous. I'm excited. It's upside down. Create a holiday wreath using natural materials. Okay, I am excited. You know, it's a weird way to start out because I'm starting out with an activity. And in my first vlog, when you see it, it'll actually have day 1 and day 2 because after I finish making my holiday wreath, I will include whatever the next choice is. But this works out really well also because we're currently starting to do our Christmas decorations. We haven't got very far, but we'd like to decorate within the next week or so, and then I can have a nice holiday wreath to put on our front door. So this is a fun little change to this, and we'll see how well it goes. Okay, so before I go, I wanted to quickly tell you that I'm going to be participating in one readathon this month, loosely, tentatively, and that's the Season-a-thon Merry Bookmas. It's the 12 Treats of Bookmas this year. So the way this one works is that it's hosted by Mel from Completely Melanie, Kaylani from Kaylani Simply Me, and Clint from Reads Readers. And I usually try to participate in it when I can. There are 12 prompts, and each of them this time around have something to do with a treat of Christmas. So like sugar cookies is read something sweet or a comfort read. So what I did was I actually created this not very attractive, but it's a sheet that has all the prompts. And then what I did was I took all the books, every single book, I went through them and I listed which prompts they work for because I don't know which ones I'm gonna come up with. You know, I may end up on certain books and not have them. And so I put them for all the different options for what prompts they fulfill so I can try and cross out all of these prompts. We'll see if I can. It depends on what I pull from my advent calendar, but I will do what I can. This may be too much, but what I would like to do is when I actually read that prompt, I would like to either enjoy that treat or make that treat. So we'll see if that happens, but that's ideal. That's what I would like to do. And I won't go over the prompts. If you'd like to know more about them, I will link all the announcement videos down below so you can find out more information about this particular readathon. But there are 2 prompts that I can do at my own leisure. One is chestnuts. Prep favorite holiday treat and post on social media. So I will try and figure out what my favorite holiday treat is and create it and post it on social media. And then the other one is popcorn garland, read the group book or a buddy read. Now I didn't find it easy for myself to get the group book. I couldn't find it at my library and it just wasn't easy to come by. So what I'm gonna do instead is I have a buddy read that I need to be working on that I have to have finished by December 9th for the live show. And that's City of Heavenly Fire by Cassandra Clare. I will be starting this hopefully in November, maybe not, but ideally I'll be starting this in November. And if not, I'll be working on this. I've sectioned it out so that I can work on it in December until the live show on December 9th. So if you'd like to know more about Bookstar read-alongs, we're gonna be starting a whole new series next year, but you can always come and join our read-along group. You can look at our previous discussions about the series that we've read, and I will link all that information, including Discord down below, so you can check us out. I will also link the live show discussion for City of Heavenly Fire up here, so you can set yourself a reminder and come join us and talk to us about the final book in the Mortal Instruments series. And finally, Magda's gonna be joining in my advent calendar as much as she possibly can. hand, meaning that she's going to be reading the books in my advent calendar if she's able to get access to them. Also, I'm not going to be doing a viewer prompt this time around. However, you can always do the challenge like this, do the challenge yourself, or you can follow along with me if you can access these books, if you'd like to read what I read as I read them, or if you'd like to create your own using this Christmas Carol and then just choose books that work for you. That would be awesome. I'd love to hear all about it. Let me know in the comment section down below what you end up doing for your challenge. But the other option is you could create a holiday wreath using natural materials in the month of December and post it somewhere on Instagram and tag me in it. I would love to see what you created. Or if that doesn't work out for you, the first prompt for December is Deck the Halls with Boughs of Holly. Find a book on your physical TBR that gives you Deck the Halls with Boughs of Holly vibes. Maybe a really attractive cover, like a book that has a beautiful cover on it, or a book about house remodels or something like that. I don't know, but let me know in the comment section down below what you end up choosing. Your prompt is Deck the Halls with Boughs of Holly. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe so you can see my very first day, my very first vlog, what happened on the 12 Days of Christmas Carol Advent Calendar Challenge in December. Stick around. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you later.